Welcome to this episode of the Living and Working Abroad show. When today we've got a guest where we're going to talk to Neil Poyton from Spartan FX currency exchange, which is something that can be quite relevant to expats living and working abroad, and something you need to consider before you start moving overseas, and when you do, whatever that might be. Whether you're looking at business, property, or investment overseas, currency is always a factor. So let's have a look at that in a bit more detail today with Neil Poyton from Spartan FX. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Sam. So yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to speak to me today, and I'd love to share a bit of information about myself, Spartan FX, and hopefully how we can help benefit you and your clients in the future.
So why would somebody relocating overseas, why would they want to think about a currency exchange and a currency exchange company before they made those plans?
Yeah, no, definitely. There's several kind of factors really that we look at in terms of helping our clients and trying to give them the most benefit when we're doing this. So I think one of the main areas is certainly the cost of moving money overseas. Now, when you're moving money through your general bank, as most people still tend to do, the exchange rates that you receive from the bank are not particularly favourable. They also have lots of additional charges and costs to making those international payments. And the other factor is the actual kind of service and help you get from a bank is actually very limited. Now, with Spartan FX, we try and do the exact opposite of all those things. So when you come to us, we like to speak to our clients and find out a little bit more about what it is you're doing and what we're kind of hoping to achieve. And we're going to work with you every step of that journey to try and get you the absolute most for your money in the most seamless and kind of simple way possible. So I think the key thing with us is that all of our team here have been in the market a very long time, and most of my brokers and sort of team that help clients move money, I've been doing this for 15 years plus. We offer a very personal one-to-one service, and the ultimate goal is to help our clients set this up in the most seamless way. So we do that by helping you avoid any unnecessary fees and charges for making payments, helping you achieve a better exchange rate than you get from the bank, and also giving you a lot of help and guidance and the best way to do that. So we may have a client who's buying a house in Cyprus, for example, and they may have 3 months, 6 months, a year in terms of how long they're looking at their time frame to do that. And the longer sometimes the better from our point of view. So once we register an account for our clients, we can use that time to look for opportunities when the markets are more favourable to kind of help our clients look at the timing of those transfers. We can also look at other things such as forward contracts. So,
okay, can I stop you there? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I always like to say, don't get technical on me. Okay.
Yeah.
Forward contracts. We'll come back to that in a minute. So, so I understand that, and we have a range of different clients. So we have clients that are retired people that are taking early retirement or regular retirement to live and work abroad, where we can save them a lot of tax money. But we also have people that want to increasingly digitally work digitally remotely, so they want to work in another country.
Yeah.
Or we just got people that are relocating, but they're working as contractors back in their home country, be that in Europe or America or the UK. So who needs to use a currency exchange? Is it somebody who's got a little bit of money, or is it somebody that's just got a big lump sum?
I definitely think there's a mix of both, and it's not always even private individuals. It can even be companies as well that are moving money to and from overseas. So a prime example, as I touched on earlier, is someone buying a house overseas, or someone selling their house in Cyprus, for example, and moving back to the UK. We liaise with various law firms and people involved with that transaction, and we will help the client set up an account in their name to either receive those funds from their own bank or directly from a buyer, directly from the buyer's lawyer, which helps avoid a lot of paperwork and KYC and headache with doing this via the Cypriot banking system, which I know you're very well aware of, Sam.
So you could assist our clients sort of managing their employment income coming in, managing their rental income from an overseas property, or,
Yes.
or just managing international payments for their company as well.
Exactly that. So we have a lot of people that work overseas, and given that we provide them with a named account, they can collect payments for their salary and income directly into that account. They may be converting part of those funds to move the funds back to their home country, to send money back to their families. They may be just accumulating the funds for a future date when they would move those funds back at some stage. Or they can obviously utilise the money they're receiving and spend that in the country where they're living and working at that given time. So there's again, it's very much a wide range of services. It could be anyone from, say, collecting smaller amounts for salaries, working, rental incomes, paying mortgages, to people doing very significant sums for property purchases as well.
So let's say somebody's got a property rental business in the UK or in Portugal or in Cyprus, and they're receiving an income coming in, and they want to get some of that money converted elsewhere. How cost effective is it to use a service like Spartan FX, and how easy, how complex is it? They're used to their bank account, so how complex or difficult or simpler does Spartan FX make it?
Yeah, I mean, we have a few clients that property rentals is quite a key one. So they may have an account with us in their name, or they may have that in a limited company that they've set up to collect their rental payments. And thinking of a couple of our clients they actually have properties in multiple different countries and therefore need to collect multiple different currencies. So again, one of the benefits of having an account with us is that we offer our clients a multi-currency IBAN in their own name. So they can collect up to 35 different currencies under one unique IBAN that is set up for that specific client. So if they're collecting funds in the UK, they provide their people paying rent, their sterling details. If they're collecting money in Cyprus, in France, in Spain, for example, from properties they own, they'll provide the Euro IBAN to those to their people renting from them, and they can collect those money in euros. And then they can hold balances in all different currencies, whether it's Swedish krona, Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, US dollars. And within that multi-currency account, they have the option of converting those funds into whatever currency they need. So if they need all of that money to go back into sterling, because that's where they want to realise the funds and use those funds, we can move it all to sterling. If they want to convert everything to euros, we can do. So there's a kind of multitude of options that the client has once they've got their account with us.
How does it look, and how does it compare, Spartan FX compared to a typical retail bank?
So banks in all countries, they vary quite wildly, but as I say, I think the three key things that are very different is that we are very much there for our clients when you need us. So at the point you open your account, you're given a dedicated account manager who you can call, email, or speak to at any time you need them. So if you've got money coming in, going out, looking to convert funds, have any questions, queries on how to do that, there is always someone there at the end of the phone. You're not going to ring up a call centre and put on hold for hours on end while you're waiting to get through to the right banking department. So I think the personal and the service side is the main thing that we focus on and what we really try and offer for our clients. Alongside that, we're also going to help provide our clients with better exchange rates. So it does vary from bank to bank, but we can see people save 0.5%, sometimes up to 3%, 4%, 5% versus certain banks. They all do vary. Some give better rates than others, but it's very rare we can't make our client a significant saving. whenever they're converting funds in any amount. And the other side to it is whenever we're doing conversions, making transfers for our clients, you have an unlimited number of transfers you can make in any amounts, and they're completely free of charge. If you're making international payments with a bank, they range from sometimes as small as 12 euros up to hundreds of euros with certain banks in Europe. And also with UK banks, most international transfers are between 20 and 35 pounds usually for making an overseas transfer. So we help avoid those additional costs and charges as well. So if our client wants to send a payment to 10 different beneficiaries, we'll basically call them, verify the details. We can even send test payments to make sure the money gets there safely and securely before we send significant sums. All of that is completely free of charge. We cover all of that for our clients. So it just makes every part of this process a lot more cost effective for them.
So looking at another type of our clients, the digital nomads or the remote workers, people that are living and working abroad in a foreign country, and they want to manage the money. So let's say we've got many ProACT clients working in the Middle East, in Saudi, UAE, Dubai, Qatar, earning big money, tax-free, but obviously they've got a balance of currencies that they might want to invest in or get the money holding. Do you have any issues outside the EU or around the world?
No, so we partner with various different financial institutions to make sure that we can offer our clients solutions for all of their currency needs. So we have partners that offer the correct licensing and currencies to trade in the Middle East, parts of Asia, Africa. There's very rare that we can't find a solution. Look, there are a few restrictions to this, and the obvious ones at the moment are Russia and Ukraine. Given the conflict, we can't move money in and out of those countries because they're restricted across million financial institutions at this point in time. There's high-risk countries in South America that we're unable to help with, but
I just like to call that AML thing. It doesn't matter where you go, whichever, whether you're investing or buying property or renting property or opening a bank account or investment account, you've got AML, you've got money laundering regulations coming in place, and it's the same for everybody. And,
yes.
And the more that you get involved in, the higher the risk. So, you know, couldn't agree with you more. Don't go to it. There are the blacklisted countries that are dangerous places to go. So don't go to those. if you want to send your children there, don't go there yourself. Yeah.
No, very much so. But look, I think one of the benefits is that we've had digital nomads and people that have worked with us that do go work in various different countries. But the benefit of having an account or a multi-currency account that we offer is that if a client was working in Cyprus for 2 years, then went and worked in Saudi for a couple of years, then went and worked in the UAE, went and worked in Australia, that account we hold covers them for all those different currencies. So you don't need to keep going, setting up new accounts, new bank details. You have everything there in one place.
Yeah. So UK expat in the Middle East could retire to Florida, and they've got the multi-currency account for their earnings and keeping the money protected from the excesses of bank.
Exactly that.
Do they? Is it just all by phone, online, or do they get access to an account to look at?
Very much a mix of both. And this is, again, is something that, we give our clients the choice of how they wish to do this. So we have the team there, we have the support in place if people want to talk to us, especially I think when they're doing this for the very first time. These are sometimes a new thing for a lot of our clients. We do this every day, but we appreciate that for our clients, they may, certainly when buying a house abroad, it might be a once and once only very substantial transaction. And they may want to talk to us every step of the way for that process. When we've had someone, you're a digital nomad that is probably very tech savvy and aware of how these things work, we can give them an online platform and they can do their own transactions and move their own money 24/7. They've got access to the platform. They can see their balances, set up conversions, set up payments, and they have the flexibility to do that themselves. If at any point they need a bit extra support or have questions about, moving to a new place and will the facility work there, again, we're always going to be there to help them. So it very much is a client specific need, and we really do, give our clients the choice and let them decide what's going on.
And we advise clients on that very, very strongly, because anything over 10,000 in value, the movement of money is deemed to be relatively high risk for any financial organisation. So they have to make extra scrutiny. So if you're earning 10, 20, 30,000 a month, living and working abroad, you're going to get caught with all sorts of delays and scrutiny and risk and charges. So one place to hold your money and keep it securely protected from currency fluctuations has got to be a good thing. And the other type of clients that we've got in, go on, carry on.
I was just going to say on that basis that we've seen this many times where people will make the same payment into the bank every month when they're earning substantial sums like this, and they will get sometimes the same AML questions monthly from that same banking provider. And every time they want to move their money, they're dealing with more and more paperwork. I think one of the things we kind of pride ourselves on is we get to know our clients, and we will find out a lot of this information in advance, what you are looking to do, what information we're going to need. Can we get a look at the contract to show how much you're going to be earning, how long for, what these amounts are going to be. And once we've got that information we're not going to keep badgering clients over and over again for the information. We've got it on file, we've checked it, we've verified what we need, and the clients then got the freedom to make those payments as and when they need to, without having handcuffs on every time they want to move money.
So your clients don't strangle your staff?
No, it hasn't happened yet. So
I know, but when you go to these inane banks, and somebody who's used to dealing with high street customers, one day somebody comes along up earning 100,000 this year from Saudi, it causes them a problem, and it's hassle that you don't need. You want somebody sensible and professional that's going to look after your money, and the AML is a big expense in time and effort for everybody. Whereas what you're saying is that Spartan FX have a one-stop shop. They do the work, and once they've done the work, it covers all the revenue that's coming through during the year.
For me, it's one of the key things is I think I've seen so many times that there are institutions, banks and otherwise, that will ask for the minimal amount of information when they're opening an account sometimes, and just get it open, and then every single transaction they're asking for more and more, and it becomes tedious and it becomes painful for the client. I think, as I say, we pride ourselves on getting to know the client, getting the right information that we need in advance, so that when the client is actually making payments and moving their funds, the money will move as they need it to. We're not going to have headache and problems down the line. We're going to put all of those things in place at the beginning. Look, if a client moves and gets a new contract, we may ask for, look, can we see the new contract? Because you've moved countries, you're getting paid by a new supplier. We may need a little top up of information if something major changes. But if someone is on a 2-3 year contract and earning X amount, we need to see that once, and we continue to just have that information at hand, so we know exactly what we're doing for every client.
Fantastic. And we have a lot of business clients as well, and we hear from the UK this big exodus of people wanted to be abroad to get away from the tax. So whether it's a business that remains in the UK or outsourced, that's another way. So does it work for companies as well as individuals?
Yeah, very much so. So Spartan FX is very much kind of split down the middle, if you will, in terms of our teams and the services we provide. So we have one arm of the business looks after our private clients, moving their personal funds, and the other half is looking after companies and businesses that move funds overseas. And that is, again, a variety of things. There may be companies that are buying and selling properties overseas, for example, and doing investments of that nature. We just have companies that might buy goods from China on a monthly basis, and they need to move money there to purchase goods. There may be companies that sell their goods and services overseas. So we have quite a lot of UK-based clients that sell their products in various different countries in Europe, across Scandinavia, in Australia, and they will collect their revenues, again, in multiple different currencies. So again, we go back to the multi-currency account. if they've got this set up, they have the one account where they can collect all those different currencies in from all those different countries. So it gives them a lot greater access if they suddenly move into a new country where they're going to operate. Again, we've got the facility usually there and ready for them to expand quickly and collect funds in a new destination if they need it. So again, it's a very, very big part of our business. I think one of the things that we do see a lot more probably for businesses than even private individuals, because a lot of our private client work can be people buying and selling property. So often there's a one-off significant transfer, and that may be a few smaller ones and top-ups and moving money for personal accounts. But the big focus is on that one big trade that we want to get right and make really straightforward, safe and simple. But for businesses, we may look at a business plan that's buying currency every month and look at opportunities to collect and buy those funds at various points when the rates are favourable for the next 2 years. And we may book in 2 years worth of contracts now because it's going to be above the company's cost base. It's going to make sure they're profitable. It allows them to hedge and know exactly how much their products are going to cost them. So I think there is a bit more strategic work that we do with companies as opposed to kind of your general private client transactions. But again, everything comes down to the client, what their needs are, what their goals are, and us working with them to try and achieve that.
Because what we say at ProACT is in the UK especially, you've got a government that wants to tax your income, tax your investments, tax your capital gains, and tax you when you die. So we very much are in the business of collating those assets. Create your own investment fund, create your own trust business and your family trust, and hold those assets in a way that you can have multiple assets inside a family business or a family trust, but it's held in such a way that you can get your assets away from UK inheritance tax, whether it's a pension asset, whether it's a business asset or an investment asset, and keep all those assets in one place. So you can have a business, a property, or an investment income stream coming into your trust, your family trust or your family business. And what Spartan are offering is an IBAN that covers multiple currencies and allows you to move the money at minimal banking expense.
Yeah, very much. And look, I mean, I know we've spoke before about trusts and setting up accounts in this way. So look, one of the great things with the accounts we do is, like I say, we can open the account in the name of a private individual. We can open it in the name of their trust. We can open it in the name of their company. So when they are receiving funds into that account, it's coming into the name of that person or name of that business or trust. And again, when we're making payments from that account, all of those funds are coming out of an account in that same name. So in terms of your paper trail, AMLs, KYCs, when you're moving this across multiple jurisdictions, across multiple different accounts, having it in the right name helps move that money a lot simpler and smoother, as you very well know. So
right. And so for our listeners, they need to understand that we're in a completely different business deal.
Yes.
Because for us, we want we say to the clients, if you own the shares, if you own the property, if you own the investment and you die, you've then got to administer that estate. If you get divorced, you've got to administer that estate. If something goes wrong, you've got to administer that estate. So, once you go international, if you get one currency exchange account, it keeps everything simple. You're not managing different bank accounts in multi-currencies across border. We do the same with assets. So by having a family trust or a business trust, that trust can own the business, the property and the investments, and it can receive income from rental property in America or Portugal, investment property in the UK, dividend income from the UK, and it's still, they're getting 0% tax on the dividends, no capital gains, and they can avoid inheritance tax as well. And they've got no banking expenses, so they never have to worry about the bankers and their charges, their expenses. So So going to say, so we're both in the market of helping people living and working abroad, whether they've got a business, a property, or just an investment, and they're living, between currencies.
No, very much so. Look, I think the key part to all of this, and one of the reasons that we've worked with yourself before, is that I think we are very aligned in that sense. It is about helping people and helping clients do things in the best way that's going to help them avoid a lot of cost and unnecessary sort of headache along the way. So,
okay, all right. Well, thanks a lot, and I'm sure we'll publish this to our clients on our Living and Working Abroad channel, and we recommend that they can talk to you anytime.
No,
So
perfect. Look, if there's anything ever comes up, feel free to let me know.
And we'll see you again next time.
Lovely. Thank you, Sam. Talk to you soon.